Hello, everyone. Welcome to this IG Live. I'm just gonna wait a little bit, a couple of minutes maybe, for you to settle in. Oh, and here's our guest. Hi, Andrea. Apology. Oh, hi.
Hi,
How
how
are
are
you?
you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good.
Apologies for the little setting around here. We have a little bit of a COVID situation at home. So everyone is at home, so I had to just find a space in my car and park somewhere and do this. Because I just want, to have like this little quiet space for us to talk, as I'm so excited for our conversation today.
Yes,
Um, but yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I'm enjoying the lovely weather that we're having right now and just trying to get into the some summer vibes. So
Yes, yes, very much needed.
definitely, definitely. Yeah, it's been a quite a cool spring and summer here. So it just was
Oh,
was was time for some more sunshine. So yeah, everyone's just more active, so it's always fun to see everybody out and about. So,
yeah, we have like a heat wave here in Ontario, so trying to deal with it. But yeah, anyway, so I would say let's get started because we have a couple of viewers joining in.
yeah.
So, hello everyone, welcome to this IG Live. My name is Barsha. I am the Community and Events Coordinator at Volition. And joining us today is Andrea Welling, the Regional Director for BC at Futurpreneur. Andrea, thank you so much for taking the time today to join us to have this conversation with us. I'm very excited to learn more about Futurpreneur, learn more about you, and how we can further support entrepreneurs and the startup ecosystem. So, without further ado, to just get really started with it, I just wanted to open up the floor to you and ask you a little bit more about you. So, if you could please just tell us a little bit more about you, who you are, and what you do.
Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, it's Andrea Welling. I'm regional director for BC for Futurepreneur, and we are a national and nonprofit organization helping youth who are 18 to 39 to work on their startup businesses, and we help them with coaching, financing, and mentoring. And part of my passion that really brought me to this work was that I was an entrepreneur myself when I was a young person and had an organic food business in the Fraser Valley out in Langley. And, running a business is very challenging. And I wished we'd had more mentorship. And so, something that I'm very passionate about is connecting new entrepreneurs with a mentor because it's really important to not do it alone. And that's a key component of our program is every entrepreneur is matched with a mentor for 2 years. And that skilled mentor is someone who's had lots of business experience and is very ready to share that knowledge and really be a support person. And so that's a little bit about me and why this work really is important and it really matters. And I think young people are our future, and supporting them to support the economic development of our future, supporting our communities, and supporting local business, I feel is very important for our future. And I feel really honored that I get to do this work as well. So.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. That's
Mhm.
quite a journey that you had, with before joining Entrepreneur. And it's very interesting to know, what really brought in this passion for the position that you have right now and how you're creating impact. So thank you so much for your work as well.
Mhm.
Um, so you mentioned that Futurepreneur is, I believe, the only national nonprofit organization that provides these financing, mentoring, and support tools for young business owners and entrepreneurs between the age of 18 to 39, right?
Yep. Yep.
So, essentially, this is what we can find on your website. A little twist to it is for someone who has been at this organization for about 3 years, I believe. Um, how would you personally describe what Futurpreneur does?
What the way like painting a little bit of a picture, most of our entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
who I think really benefit from our program are people that have started, they've started a business, they've gotten something going. That could be a food business, it could be within fashion and health and wellness trades, it could be almost any industry, but they've been able to take a passion and start a business. They've been able to get some sales, but maybe they don't want to use any more of their savings to be able to support the business, and they're maybe finding themselves in a little bit of a cash flow crunch, and they really need some working capital to really go to that next level. And I think this is where our entrepreneurs come to us and where we can really help them, because a lot of young people, if they don't have any assets or collateral, they don't have previous business experience, it's unlikely that their bank will provide them with a loan or financing, and we will. And
Mm-hmm.
so what we work with them on is making sure they have a good business plan, because we don't want to lend them money if they're not prepared and it's not the best time or the best choice for them. So a big part of what we do, we have our business development managers on our team who really will take people through every step of the way, analyze their business plans. They'll definitely help them to feel confident and ready, and that it makes sense for where they are going to want to move their business forward. So, and then as I mentioned earlier, we match them with a mentor, and that happens once they get the financing. So it happens in the later part of them going through our program. So. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So, and I just want to give a shout out to our team.
great.
So we have a senior business development manager, Nikki Jones Crossley, who is supporting supporting Vancouver Island and Vancouver and the Sea to Sky. We are currently looking for a new business development manager to cover a lot of the Lower Mainland and the Fraser Valley. And then we have Sue Ross, who's also a senior business development manager, and she covers the interior of BC. So just wanted to let you know that those are team members. And also Chad Freiling is our entrepreneur in residence. So sometimes if someone's at an earlier stage and is getting a little bit of is a little bit more challenged with their concept, then they can talk to Chad and he'll take them on a deeper dive. But we really provide high touch wraparound services that really are preparing entrepreneurs for success. And when we talk to our entrepreneurs, we survey them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years after they've completed their businesses. We have a really high success rate. It's over 70% of entrepreneurs who still have their businesses. And we also have a high repayment rate. So setting them up for success is really key for our organization and our team. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, again, thank you for the explanation as well, because sometimes, aspiring entrepreneurs or someone who has just started with, their business, there is so much information out there that it can get confusing or even overwhelming to know where to even begin. So having an organization and people like you who are giving step-by-step instructions or even advice and guidance to those entrepreneurs to just get started, it's very helpful. So thank you for that. I can see Nikki in the chat who's saying thank you for the shout out. So hi Nikki.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us today. So you mentioned a couple of things of, how you direct those entrepreneurs into mentoring and matching them and all that. So, to just top on that, do you have any sort of advice to give to aspiring entrepreneurs? So let's just say someone who's just getting started, for instance. Um, is there any advice, any do's and don'ts that you would want to share with them for them to get started on the right path?
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I think a big piece in the beginning is to do as much research as you can. So, and obviously, use Google to its full extent, but also take time to talk to potential customers. So who do you think might be interested in your proposed product and service? See if you can interview them. See if you can really get to know what their real needs are. What are their real pain points? What are they actually willing to pay for? Because you don't want to go down a road of something that you think's a great idea, but nobody really wants it right now. And that can happen. So testing your idea, validating your idea, we call it, I think is super important. And I also encourage business owners to also talk to their competition or businesses in other regions or areas that are similar, and find out about those businesses and what's worked for them, what are some of the successes, some of the challenges. So you get a sense of what might be possible in your industry and what might be a pathway forward. Um, I think it's important, like, to have your passion. So I also think be careful of people that just are naysayers, because I think if you believe in something and you're really passionate about it,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit one life to live. So I feel like if we can help you take low risk and be able to pursue an idea or a business idea that you love, like, go for it. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely a message I want to give. But we want to help you do it in a way that's not you're not taking on too much risk, and that you feel supported. And so my other piece of advice is, and I mentioned this a little bit before, is just to be careful to not get isolated, because being a solopreneur can be easy to get a little bit lost within what you're trying to do. So to definitely get out there, network, go to different networking groups, whether that's the Board of Trade or BNI groups or meetups or whatever it is, or have a support group of other entrepreneurs to keep keep your spirits up and keep your mental health strong, because mental health can be an issue for entrepreneurs. And so we want to make sure people stay healthy through sometimes entrepreneurship journey can be very intense, and you want to stay healthy through it. So yeah.
Absolutely, and I think it's a very important point. I think people are getting more vocal about mental health in entrepreneurship and in general. And so even when you think about the past couple of years during the pandemic, where people's mental health were not at the highest, but at the same time, when we think about the pandemic, we think about how this pushed a lot of people to start their entrepreneurial journey because of whatever reason, just to get that income or something. So um while we're on that point, when you're talking about following your passion, just doing it, but also ensuring that you're taking care of your mental health, um my mind just goes back to the pandemic area. And so with that being said, I want to ask you, how has the past 2 to 3 years been like for you? Been like at Futurpreneur? Did you notice any entrepreneurial trends, for instance, or any patterns in terms of how many entrepreneurs are finding your services or starting their journey? Just yeah, with
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, when the pandemic started, something I'm really proud of for the organization is, quite quickly we actually approached the government and said we would love to offer top-up loans. We're worried that some of our business owners are going to go out of business. They've just started, or they've been going for a little while, and they're in a very a tender time, right?
Mm.
And so, and so we were able to provide top-up loans. So we were able to provide, and so that, I think that really helped some business owners. We were also able to do payment relief, so people didn't have to do payments on their loans
Mm-hmm.
for a certain length of time. So that was something we were able to offer that was really, really important. In the very beginning, everything stopped, and then things sort of picked up again. And actually, sort of midway in the pandemic, we actually saw quite a strong demand. And so I think people were, there was a couple of trends. One was, of course, with online
Mm-hmm.
businesses, and that is a strong trend that grew during the pandemic, and people selling all sorts of different products, pet products, baby products, housewares, personal goods, all sorts of things were definitely very, very popular. It was a little bit harder on our professional services, our consultants, some of our professional services. We had a bit of a decline there during the pandemic because people just they were staying home. There was more of an increase in sporting goods and people doing, renovations at home and these sorts of activities. We saw more of these sorts of businesses. And we also always saw the mix that we often see with Futurpreneur was we help a lot of entrepreneurs who are in the food industry. So lots of foodies out there, and lots who are who are wanting to do technology businesses.
Mm-hmm.
It's still very popular. And so yeah, so there was some shifts, but some things that stayed steady. So the entrepreneurial spirit is strong and strong in BC, I would say throughout the country. But we definitely saw BC come out of the gate really, really, really quickly
Mm-hmm.
with lots of interest. So yeah.
And did you find that any of those trends or patterns have continued while, society and the world is getting back to normal? Have any of those trends and patterns been maintained, or do you still see like an influx of those entrepreneurs in those specific areas, or was this a change?
Yeah, I would say it's fairly similar, although I think we are seeing more of our professional services
Mm-hmm.
coming back. So I've seen more of that. Otherwise, the mix of businesses has been, I would say fairly similar. So I think some of our business owners are looking to take on like succession plan. They might be taking on existing businesses. So there's been a few definitely requests around our support around buying businesses, and we've always had this, but I
Mm-hmm.
would say there's been a little bit more of that trend. We're also seeing a little bit of a trend of because Vancouver is not the most affordable city, that entrepreneurs are sort of choosing centers. Maybe that's on Vancouver. Maybe that's Nanaimo or Kamloops, or just centers that are smaller and away from Vancouver that they can afford, that's more affordable. And
Mm-hmm.
so we are seeing a trend of increase in interest and applications in some of those regions. So that's something we're keeping an eye on, yeah, definitely, and making sure that even though we have offices in Vancouver, that entrepreneurs know we're available across the province, and we do travel quite a bit. So again, I know we were recently in Victoria, again, Prince George and Quesnel, Kamloops. So we aren't just a Vancouver show. We are a BC show. Well, I shouldn't say show, but we're a BC program. And I really like to reinforce that message, so that, all entrepreneurs across the province feel comfortable and that they can access our services. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to follow up on that point itself, when you talk about services and programs, I've done a little bit of research, obviously,
Yeah.
um, but there are a couple of services and programs available through Futurpreneur. So in terms of that, could you maybe share a little bit more information with us about those services and programs that are available, and even resources available to those entrepreneurs. And also, if you could touch on, as someone who is just starting, what would you guide them to in terms of either programs or services that you're offering?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So our main program is our startup program, and
Mm-hmm.
for entrepreneurs who are looking to start a business full time.
Mm-hmm.
And just a little bit of eligibility around that. They do need to be between ages of 18 to 39. So I do apologize for anyone who's 41 out there, but I always encourage anyone to be in touch if you want any help or guidance within the entrepreneurial ecosystem around your business. You do need to be a Canadian citizen or a permanent resident. With that being said, we do want to support newcomers through our programs. And if you're wanting to do our Rock My Business series, which are free workshops, it doesn't, that's not part of entering into our programs, but you can do that education, even if you're not quite, your PR hasn't come through quite yet. And then in terms of, we need a business plan, cash flow statement for 2 years. We do look at your credit. So it's really important, if you don't know your credit right now, to please check out your credit before you apply. And if we can guide you in how to improve that, that's a piece that we look at. And then in terms of the financing, we can lend you from 5 to 60,000. And we offer as competitive rate as possible. Prime has been going up, so our rate has gone up, which is how these things go. We have to follow that to some extent, but we have a 5-year repayment schedule, interest only in the first year. And as I mentioned, it's a character-based loan, which means it's unsecured, so you don't need any assets or collateral. We don't ask for any equity. We don't need that you've had previous business experience, but we just need to make sure that the business you're going into fits your experience broadly, and that you have plans to have that you have a sense of, you can show us your cash flow, that you have some sales, that you're going to be working on creating sales with your business. So that's our startup program. And then we also have our side hustle. So if you have a full-time job, but you want to start a business on the side, then this is a great program for you to be able to do that. And some of our entrepreneurs really like this program because it allows them the security of their job, but also to start their business. And that one is set loans, 5, 10, and 15,000, 4-year repayment schedule. And with all our programs, we match everyone with a mentor for 2 years. So no matter what program that you access, they all include mentorship. And we also have our Indigenous startup program. So this is for Indigenous entrepreneurs who self-identify, and it's an opportunity for them to be really part of an Indigenous community that we have been creating, a staff team that is that's very knowledgeable about being an Indigenous business owner. So and we have some specialized workshops. We had our My Indigenous Startup in June, and lots of different programs to support Indigenous entrepreneurs. And then we have our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program, RBC, put some support behind that, some of that loan capital. And we've had some great success. Similarly, you self-identify if you're a Black-owned business entrepreneur, and then we provide you with a team who really can support you through lived experience. And again, the amount of money is similar, 5 to 60,000. With our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program, our Indigenous Startup Program, if you do have some issues with your credit, we can unlock some additional funding for you. With our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program, we have some follow-on financing in years 2 and years 3. So there's a few differences with a couple of our programs. This is all on our website. So I always say to people when I do these presentations, I kind of throw out lots of details because some people love it.
Yeah.
Some people they kind of glaze over. But it's all on our website, really easy to access. And obviously,
Mhm.
if you decide to go through the program or check it out, we're happy to speak to you anytime on the phone or email, or if you're wanting just to, learn more about the details of our program. So yeah. And we've got a great podcast, like our Black Entrepreneur Startup Program. We've got a great podcast. So it's Startup and Prosper.
Mhm.
So if you want to go check that out on your Apple, wherever you find your podcasts, it's a really fun one. My colleague Mona Lisa is the one who does that podcast, and yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So as an organization too, we're always looking for creative ways to help educate our entrepreneurs, provide them resources, help them feel inspired, and help them build confidence. So
Mhm.
also always open to collaborations and ways we can help entrepreneurs move their startup forward.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to go over all of these with us. And it's very interesting to learn more about, what you're offering. Of course, we can see that on the website, but then hearing someone actually go over it is even greater. Uh, we get a better understanding of how things work. And I just want to point out here is, you mentioned, as an organization trying to find creative ways to support entrepreneurs. I personally, as an aspiring entrepreneur, really appreciate how Futurpreneur has come up with such flexible programs where they're catering for different groups at different stages. It's very encouraging to know that there is such a big organization that is here with these kind of resources available for us to go forward. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um, and while you talked about collaboration, I think it's time to point out that one of the reasons why we're having this conversation today is because Futurpreneur is a sponsor of our upcoming event, which is a BC Women's Startup Showcase happening on July 28th. So this showcase will be featuring 6 up and coming women led startups across BC. And these startups are not only women led, but they're led by women under 30. So our theme for this showcase is women under 30. And so we're very excited and grateful to have Futurepreneur to be a sponsor for this event, and we want to thank Futurepreneur. Thank you, Andrea, for offering your support for the event, for these startups that are joining this event, whether as pitchers or for attendees who are going to learn more about Futurepreneur as an organization who is here to support them. Um, so thank you for that. We're very excited for this event as well. So for our audience, if you're watching this right now, if you haven't already registered for this event, please make sure to head to our bio and click on the link there and register for the event. It's going to be amazing. You're not only going to be able to learn more about Futurepreneur there, but you will also be able to learn more about the basics of investment and investor pitch through strategic feedback that is going to be provided to our pitchers by our industry experts. And so there's a lot to get out of this event. So we do encourage you to join us on July 28th. Yeah, so check out our link. And that being said, I will now move to this one question, which is more talking about Futurepreneur in terms of your achievements, maybe this year only, or maybe the past couple of years. As we know, these have been very difficult and in interesting times in a way. These really pushed us to think out of the box, getting out of our comfort zone and trying new things. So that being said, Andrea, do you personally have any wins that you want to share with us, or even wins and announcements at Futurepreneur that you would like to share with us today?
Yeah, absolutely. We've created a new partnership
Oh.
with GoDaddy to offer financial literacy and marketing workshops, and we've just started that partnership. So that's big win, and really exciting to get on, like, just to be able to let people know about those workshops and that partnership. So
Mhm.
definitely check that out. And yeah, we're always yeah, and again, we're always looking for partnerships. The other one in terms of partnerships was with RBC, and how RBC really partnered with us for the Black Entrepreneur Startup Program. I think that was a huge win for our organization, and it's been we've had a lot of interest in that particular program. I think it's been really amazing. I think in terms of, yeah, I think in terms of sort of personal wins, you know, these aren't big so much, but what I really get excited about is when I do get a chance to travel and I get to see businesses that are succeeding and we've been able to help them, and to see how well they're doing. And so it's always so much fun. It always feels like such a win for me to be able to go into, you know, a bakery in Kamloops, or a consignment store in Penticton, or you know, or you know, a restaurant in Victoria, and be able to then take some pictures and meet the owners, and, you know, just have that excitement. There's just something about it that um, I think it always just really reminds me about why we do this work. And I just really love celebrating our entrepreneurs. It's just so much fun. And you know, some of them are now, we've got some that are sustainability leaders, that are, you know, that are really paving the way, I think, for some new ways that we want to be, you know, maybe helping the environment or helping people. And I just, yeah, I get so excited about that. And they're always great wins. I always love the success stories. We'll see that our entrepreneurs won an award at Chamber of Commerce or through Small Business BC. And, you know, and they're all, our entrepreneurs, I find, are always usually so humble and just so grateful, and they really appreciate that we support them. And so that's just, yeah, it's just so lovely. So
That's incredible. Thank you
hmm.
for sharing. I just want to point out that whenever you're talking and sharing something with us, we can see the passion right there. Like, we can feel that passion. So it's very interesting, and, well, I mean, encouraging as well, and just nice to see, you know, when people are working in a certain industry or area, they're truly passionate about what they do, and creating that impact that they want, and really pushing through. So thank you so much for that. Andrea, we are almost at the end of this IG live. Again, the purpose of this live today was to, one, celebrate our partnership with you, and, you know, thank you for being a sponsor for our upcoming event, and thank you for your support. But also, um, this live was an opportunity for our audience and your audience as well to learn more about Futurpreneur, and how, you know, they can have access to your resources that you're offering, and just learn more in general about, you know, what Futurpreneur does, and how in the future, or even currently, Futurepreneur can support them. So that being said, we did cover a lot of information. So I just want to point out to our audience to not to worry, because this live will be reposted on our social media. And, oh, did we lose Andrea here? While we're waiting for Andrea to connect back, I just wanted to continue on my point. So this live will be reposted on our socials, and I will be including all the information that we have been sharing during this conversation today. It will be in the captions, where you will find ways to connect with Futurpreneur and even have access to those resources that we have discussed today. Um, I am trying to see if we can get our guest back. While we're trying to get our guest back, do you, our audience, have any questions for Andrea that you would want us to cover? Or do you want to share any of your comments regarding what we have been discussing? That's all right. There we go. We have our guest back. Hello.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so
Okay.
sorry about that.
That's okay.
Technology, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My biggest fear, but oh well. Anyway, thanks, Barsha. You're so sweet.
Technology hasn't been on our side lately, so no worries about that.
Yeah.
I just mentioned to our audience how I will be reposting this video on our Volition socials.
Great.
And how all of the information that we have been discussing during this conversation will be in the caption, where they can find like a summary of this conversation in a way so that they can go check out, Futurepreneur's website and all that. Apologies, we have rain. I'm just gonna there we go. All right. So that being said, Andrea, so what I was saying was we did cover a lot of information, where our audience will be able to find that in our captions and on our socials as well, and even on Futurepreneurs socials through the content that you post, because your content is always here to support people so that they can learn more about your organization. With that being said, before we get into the final question, I wanted to ask if there is any specific program or service that you want to share more information about with our audience. For instance, maybe a new program that you want us to check out, or even just as like the initial program that you would encourage people to check out. Is there any such detail that you want to share with us?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one, the series that I think is really key workshops is our Rock My Business series. So if people wanting to check out Rock My Business Idea, Rock My Business Plan, or Rock My Cash Flow, I think these are really popular workshops, and they provide so much value to be able to support entrepreneurs to go to their next level. So I just really want to encourage people to sign up for those. The July series has already come and gone. So we will have more in September. So those will be coming up. But those are also available, on our website, and there's links to register there. So So
awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. So for our audience and for myself, if you would like to learn more about Futurepreneur, find more information about their programs and services and all the resources that they're offering, you can find them on so many platforms. So I'm going to try to summarize this.
Sure.
You can find them on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And their handle is at Futurepreneur on all of them. And you can also check out their website at futurepreneur.ca. So those are the general ways for you, our audience, to reach out to Futurepreneur, to their team, to just get in contact with them. That being said, Andrea, do you have any other kind of contact information that you would want to share with us, or would that be it?
Yeah, no, I think that's great. If people want to reach out to me, I'm at A Welling, so AWELLING at futurepreneur.ca. So, so please feel free to reach out to me. Yeah, and if I can't help you, I I'd love to connect you with the entrepreneurial ecosystem. So, obviously I'm here representing Futurpreneur, but I'm also very passionate about being part of an entrepreneurial ecosystem, about how we are broadly supporting entrepreneurs. And if I can't help you, then I might connect you with Small Business BC or WeBC, or bring you back to Volition or League of Innovators. There's so many organizations that are helping entrepreneurs. So I want to make sure people get as much connections to the right programs and services that they can. So.
Thank you so much, Andrea. So again, our audience, don't worry. I know that we summarized this contact information section quite quickly. So I will be including those in the caption as well. So you can check it out in about a couple of hours while we allow this video to post. Andrea, thank you so much again for taking the time today to
Yes.
join us for this live, to go over all of this information, to answer all of my questions because I had a lot, and just being a very cheerful person, providing all these information, um, really encouraging us aspiring entrepreneurs and even existing entrepreneurs as well to go check out those resources available to them. Um, we very much appreciate your time and effort and patience and all of your effort again in creating such impact in the startup ecosystem, whether personally or through Futurpreneur. So again, thank you so much. um, One
Yeah.
last thing that we do like to ask, which is not really related to like the specific organization questions, but we like to end our Instagram lives with a very cheerful and personal, well, not personal, but a human way of ending a conversation. So what would you say is the one thing that brings you joy currently?
Oh, I have kids, so I've got a daughter who's 18 and a son who's 15, and watching them grow into adults and find their own interests and passions and their energy. It brings me so much joy, and they bring me so much um, joyful energy into my household, and so I'm just so grateful to be able to also be a mom. So. Yeah. So.
That's beautiful. Beautiful.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
and you can find Futurpreneur on all of the social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube,
Yeah.
and Instagram, at Futurpreneur, and you can find them at futurpreneur.ca for our audience. And yeah, again, Andrea, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to have this chat with me today, and to just go over all of these information
Mhm.
that would potentially help our audience and other people who are going to watch this video later on. Um, and thank you again for supporting Volition, for
Yeah.
supporting our event and our community, um, and for creating such impact and opportunities for entrepreneurs to grow and to succeed. So thank you so much. Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that concludes our IG live today. Um, Thank you so much for our audience
Yes.
for having joined us today. I hope that this was useful and resourceful for you, as it was for me, at least.
Mhm.
A lot of information, a lot of things to pay attention to. So, thank you for being here, Andrea. Thank you so much again, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thanks so much. It's been my pleasure. It's lovely working with you. What fun.
Thank you.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.